The Amtrak train that plunged off an overpass south of Seattle, killing at least 3 people, was hurtling 50 mph over the speed limit when it jumped the track, federal investigators say. Bella Dinsair, a National Transportation Safety Board member, said late Monday that the data recorder in the rear locomotive showed the train was going 80 mph in a 30 mph zone when it derailed along a curve, spilling some of its cars onto an interstate highway below. Dinsair said it is not yet known what caused the train to run off the rails and too early to say why it was going so fast. She said investigators will talk to the engineer and other crew members. In previous wrecks, investigators looked at whether the engineer was distracted or disabled. The engineer, whose name was not released, was bleeding from the head after the wreck, and both eyes were swollen shut, according to dispatch audio. The train, with 85 passengers and crew members, was making the inaugural run along a fast new bypass route that was created by refurbishing freight tracks alongside Interstate 5. The 15-mile, $180.7 million project was aimed at speeding up service by bypassing a route with a number of curves, single-track tunnels and freight traffic. An Amtrak train derailed in Washington, just south of Seattle, December 18, 2017. Positive train control technology that can automatically slow or stop a speeding train wasn't in use on this stretch of track, according to Amtrak President Richard Anderson. Regulators have pressing railroads for years to install such technology, but the deadline has been extended repeatedly at the industry's request and is now the end of 2018. The 7:34 a.m. accident left mangled train cars up on top of each other, with one hanging precariously over the freeway. The screech and clang of metal were followed by silence, then screams, as the injured cried out to rescuers and motorists pulled over and rushed to help. A community along the new rail line where an Amtrak train derailed Monday in a deadly crash had tried to stop the project on grounds higher-speed passenger trains would endanger pedestrians and motorists. The city of Lakewood, several miles north of the crash site, went to court in 2013 to stop. A community along the new rail line where an Amtrak train derailed Monday in a deadly crash had tried to stop the project on grounds higher-speed passenger trains would endanger pedestrians and motorists. The city of Lakewood, several miles north of the crash site, went to court in 2013 to stop. More than 70 people were injured, 10 of them seriously. Train passenger Emma Schaefer found herself at a 45-degree angle, staring at the seats in front of her that had come loose and swung around. It felt oddly silent after the actual crashing, she said. Then there was people screaming because their leg was messed up. I don't know if I actually heard the sirens, but they were there. A guy was like, "Hey, I am Robert. Well, get you out of here." One of the dead was identified as Zach Wilhoit, a customer service employee at a local transit agency and a railroad buff excited to be on the first passenger run of the new route. He was a member of All Aboard Washington, an organization of rail advocates.